Broadcasting from Watts Creative Studios and live on Grove Street FM. You're listening to Talk Local to Me, brought to you by the Central Virginia Business Coalition.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Talk Local to Me. This is Heather Alto with the Central Virginia Business Coalition, and we are here today. I have Christy Wiley with BVA Mercantile, and we're going to be talking with her about her shop and some upcoming events that she has going on. And then I also have with me today Michelle Cabell, and we're going to be. I'm excited to talk with her, and we're going to talk a little bit more about our Empower event coming up. And she is going to be one of our breakout speakers for that event, and so we're going to be talking with her about what she does with leadership and coaching, and what she's going to be bringing to the Empower table for us this year. So. Great show for you guys today, and just wanted to remind you, if you are tuning in and you have not subscribed yet to Talk Local to Me, what are you waiting for? You should be doing that. Make sure that you can subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, so Spotify, Apple, all the other places, because I ask every week and I still don't remember what they are, but I always ask Woody and I still don't remember.
Just all the above.
All the above.
All the above.
So, make sure that you are subscribing so you can listen weekly to all of the wonderful topics we have and the businesses that we bring on. And if you're listening and you want to come on the show, let me know. Even if you're not a business in our area and you have been listening in, you can call into the show and we can chat with you about it. So let us get you on, get you some promotion and talk about, your business in our area or outside of our area. So, wanted to bring up a quick event that we have going on next week. We are going to be hosting our CVABC Open, which is a putt-putt tournament, not a golf tournament. I don't golf, but I play a mean game of putt-putt. I am very, very competitive. Woody, I bet you would not believe that.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, very, very competitive.
Yes.
And I actually played professional putt-putt when I was little. I'm serious, it's
Really?
true. There are things such as professional putt-putt. So there were actual leagues at putt-putt when I was younger, and my dad, his work had different, teams. So yeah, you actually had practices. You went out and would practice on certain days of the week, 'cause you could learn where to hit the ball on the course to actually get a hole in one, or at least get the par. And you won trophies and you teamed up against other people. It was hardcore. So my family doesn't like to play with me because that's how I like when we get on, I really do have trouble getting them to play with me.
You don't play.
No, I don't play. It's like, they'll be talking. I'll be like, shh, I'm trying to line up my putt. I'm doing the Tiger Woods, I'm sitting down and looking at it and, getting everything lined up, but I digress. So the reason behind the putt-putt tournament is this will be our second annual CVABC Open, and it is going to be next Tuesday on the 26th at Putt-Putt in Lynchburg, and from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. So you can come at any time. You don't have to sign up for a specific time. You can come whenever you'd like. Bring your family, bring your friends, bring your colleagues. So you can sign up individually or a team of 2 or a team of 4, or if you come with 6 people, it doesn't really matter. But it equals out to about $20 a person. That includes 18 holes of golf and pizza and drinks for everyone in your group. And we are raising money for education. So the money that we raise goes into the Derek James Memorial Scholarship. For those of you who haven't heard me talk about it in the past, I lost my brother about a year and a half ago in a house fire, and he was a fabulous golfer, could not beat me in putt-putt, but great golfer. He had to work on the short game. But he also was a machinist, and he had worked out of high school for a local company in our area. And so I thought, what better way to honor him than to do an event where the money went back into trade school for those who are not looking to go to a 4-year college. So those that are looking to go into the vocational route, whether it's plumbing or welding or machinist or construction or, all those great things that are really needed right now. So we have we had a scholarship. We work with the Build Smart Institute in Roanoke. They have the option to utilize CVCC or Virginia Technical Institute in Alta Vista. But we give that scholarship to a student that's looking to go into that area. So last year was our first year, and we were able to send one student. This year, I'm hoping to be able to send at least one, if not two. And the train agrees that we have. Can you please interrupt us for the train? Hey, this is the first time the train's come through in a while.
It has in a while.
I've been really lucky. I haven't had any train issues for a bit, but. Anyway, so, it's open for you to participate. If you'd like to sign up, you can go online to cvabc.org and you can sign up online, or you can just show up day of. We'll be there with a registration table. So it's for a great cause. If you want to just go out and have fun with your family, it's a great way to do that. And it's a family-friendly event because you can't have beer trucks apparently at Putt-Putt like you can on golf courses. They have like the beer carts. So you can't do that at Putt-Putt. So you can come and have a Pepsi and some pizza and play some golf. If you want to do go-karts or laser tag or any of that additional, you can purchase that there at Putt-Putt. But a big shout out to Putt-Putt for allowing us to do this event. They have been phenomenal the past 2 years, and allowing us to come and take over their course. And then also a huge thank you to our presenting sponsor, which is Poolfullen. He has been the sponsor for the past 2 years, and he's very big on trade. Of course, he does pools, and he actually handles the bumper boats and all the fountains and stuff at Putt-Putt. So it was a really big, it was a way for him to kind of help with his client as well. So a huge thank you to him. And so we'd love to have you come out if you're just looking for a fun night, with your family, or, if you have some colleagues that you just want to put down and take them to Putt-Putt and see. Oh, and we have this really cool hole. So I'd like to thank to Aflac. We have a whack-a-duck hole this year. So you can actually purchase an additional, I think it's like $5. You can go do the whack-a-duck. So instead of putting a ball, you're going to be hitting one of those like little ducks down the course. See how far the duck gets you. But that's going to be a fun addition to the event this year. So next Tuesday, we hope to see you guys. Hope to have a good turnout. And it's just one of those events. It's very laid back. Come and go as you please between 3 and 8. And then also, I mentioned our Empower event, and we're going to talk more about that in a little bit. But Empower tickets are on sale. I highly suggest, if you're thinking of attending, to get your tickets ASAP because we can only sell 200, and we are already halfway sold out. And so I have a good feeling we will sell out. We did last year, and we're in the middle of, putting out our speakers. Our keynote speaker I've mentioned on the show before, but will be Jessica Lynch. She's coming to be our keynote speaker. For those who don't know who she is the Army soldier who her convoy was hit in the Iraq War, and she was the first female prisoner of war ever rescued. And not only that, but she was rescued like live. I think people were watching it happen on TV. So I'm really excited to have her come in and talk. And then we have 4 great local speakers that'll be talking on different subjects. So it's a wonderful day of empowerment, leadership, just women coming together, no matter what you do, no matter whether you have the same business or different businesses, or heck, I don't even care if you have a business. You could just come because you're a housewife that you want to get away from your kids, but you want to sit there and learn about, community and involvement and mentorship. And, it's just for you to come out and relax and with other women. And we've got great breakfast. Simply Vanilla Gourmet Cheesecake. That's probably one great reason to be there. And then Friends Catering will be doing our lunch. And so lots of great things for that day. Tickets right now through Friday are $99. And that includes your tickets, your breakfast, your lunch. It's all inclusive. So, but they do go up to $125 after Friday. So again, you can go to cvabc.org and sign up for your tickets. And we're going to talk to Michelle a little bit more about what she's going to be talking about. So now that I have rambled for 10 minutes, I do want to bring up Woody. I appreciate the certificate, your nomination certificate being front and center when I walk in the door.
Right in front of the coffee machine. So you have to move it to make yourself a cup of coffee.
Okay.
So you have to see it.
I'm surprised you didn't put a little sticker that says, I didn't win. I was
so
just
proud of
nominated.
being nominated that.
It's like right there. It's like, I can't believe I was
It's right
nominated.
there. I'm going to hang it on the door next time.
You should, when you walk in the door, like, they need to comment on it. Be like, so glad to see you. Hey, is that Ring doorbell new? Or did I just not pay attention
No,
to
you
things?
just didn't pay attention. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's okay, though.
So anyway, but you have something new coming to Watts Creative Studios called The Grove.
Yes, The Grove. It's going to be an event / classroom space that will be in the warehouse here that we've not used. Really, I've used it for a set and some photography and a couple of videos. But we're actually in the next 2 weeks, we're going to start putting up walls, doors, ceiling stuff, and it's gonna be awesome. Like it's gonna have a cool vibe to it, and for crafting classes also, but for if you want to meet and just have, you just kind of want like a rustic space to come meet and have your event or whatever. It'll be a good space. Plus, we have plenty of parking, which is kind of nice.
So I'm excited for this. And your wife, your lovely wife, Laura.
Lovely wife. Patient, lovely wife.
Let's see, I threw that in there. You're welcome, Laura. I did. But yeah, and Laura is going to be helping with those classes, right? Or are you going to be doing it?
No, you don't.
Are you going to be helping us make candles?
I'm going to help turn the TV on for the instructor. But no, she's wonderful. She just, every time she does she currently teaches some classes at the academy here and there, paint classes. And every time she does one, it's just, everybody has a great time. She's such a great teacher, good personality. And we were ready to have another venue space so that she could have her classes and help other creators and makers have a place in Bedford to have their classes as well. So it's a win-win for everybody. Plus, we have the warehouse space, so we want to use it.
Yeah, so I want to tip my hat to like creative people and like makers, and I am not, and I definitely could not teach it. I'd be like, here's a stick figure for you. I'm not good at that sort of thing. I did go to one of those paint night classes, and it actually did turn out, pretty Picasso, man. I hung it up on the wall. And I was pretty proud of it, but I'm not. Now, I had somebody the other day tell me, though, I guess it's like I coach softball, and I have people that are like, oh, I could not do that. So yeah, it's kind of the same thing, I guess. But I love getting out there with the little, I have 9 and 10-year-old girls. So you can imagine how much fun that is to wrangle up for a couple hours every night. But it's a lot of fun. So I think this brings something very unique to our area. I know the Bauer Center has a lot of art classes, and they do a great job with that. But, I think this kind of complements each other in a way. And I think it helps with, you're also kind of down here in the art district. You're near like the Electrico Market and the Goose Creek Studios. And I just think it really brings something to the area. So congrats on that.
Thank you very much.
And I'm looking forward to the opening.
Yes.
And getting some candles from the lovely
candles,
Laura.
Soaps, sugar scrubs. She's got a ton. It's going to be fun.
What's the name of her company again? I'm going to give her
Simply Somerville Gifts.
Simply Somerville Gifts. Yep. And you can find her on Etsy.
Yes. And we plan on once we open having some specific stuff for the Grove, like candles that are for here. So it will be a space and classes, but it'll be more too. So just keep checking back. We have social media up, so we'll post some updates.
Okay, well, cool. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. And I was really excited that you shared that after I left last week, and you didn't even tell me after the show. Like, I was like, I was crying in my car. I was like, I'm going to come back and take his award away, his nomination back.
My nomination, the award that I didn't win.
Yes.
Doggone it. No, yeah, sorry about that. Yeah.
So speaking of nominations and awards and businesses and all that great stuff, we have Christy Wiley here at BVA Mercantile, and BVA actually was the winner. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that.
Congratulations.
I didn't mean to say that. So no,
so I'm gonna go shred my certificate now. It's fine. Whatever.
So it is the the winner of our small business, our retail business of the year this year. And so y'all weren't in the same category, so it's okay for me
That's
to
all
say
right.
she was the winner.
That's okay.
No, the winner of retail business of the year. And I was so excited when I saw that on my because I don't judge.
Right.
So when I get the results back, I was super excited. I couldn't wait to tell you. And I loved how when I said your name, you're like, seriously?
Oh my gosh, I was so embarrassed though after my response. I was like, people are gonna think I'm so crazy, but I was literally, I had no indication that we were gonna win. So it was complete and utter, like you got the raw emotion right there. So, but we were so thankful, I was so excited.
It was great because you were like, seriously? And I was thinking to myself, well, yeah, unless I got this, I'll put the wrong name on there if I'm not. But
I know. I thought about that all night, believe me, my reaction.
I was super. I always get nervous before events like that. Not because, I said on the way there, I was talking to my daughter and I was telling her I was nervous and she was like, why? You talk in front of people all the time. I was like, it's not that. When there are events where I have to give an award to somebody over other people that I feel are just as deserving, like my stomach ties up in knots because I want to be like, I'm almost one of those people that wants to give like participation trophies to everybody because I really do. I love our members and I think that everyone does such a great job. But, I am also really proud when I can present, to the winner. So they get that feeling of accomplishment and know that everything they've been working so hard for is actually acknowledged by other people. And I think that's great. So tell everyone that is listening a little bit about BVA Mercantile.
Okay.
Like, how did it come about? What
Right.
is the BVA? What does it stand for? All of that great stuff.
Okay. So a few years ago, my husband actually started, he has a full-time job, mind you, but he started making some barnwood items. He started out really small, like just maybe little trays or whatever. And we started doing vendor events. And I got really tired of that really fast because you're dragging everything in for the day. I mean, I have mad respect for people that just do vendor events because it's a lot of work. But we had bigger items. So it wasn't like jewelry or t-shirts or anything like that. It was bigger items we were trying to take in and out. So it was a lot. So we were doing that for probably about a year, I would say. And then one day we were coming back from Roanoke and we drove through Bedford and my husband was like, let's stop and look at this building. And I'm like, okay, why are we looking at this building? And he said, what do you think about buying it and to make a store? And I thought, what? I mean, I had retail experience in high school, but that was pretty much it. My master's is in human resources, not retail management. But we thought about it some more and we decided to take a big risk and we loved Bedford. I grew up in a smaller town than even Bedford. I mean, it is tiny in North Carolina. And but we loved Bedford and we thought if we were going to do it, this is where we wanted to do it. Because we just love the small town feel. And plus, I think it's great to grow towns like with small businesses and give people more reasons to come to downtown Bedford. That was also really important to us. So we got the building and we decided on BVA Mercantile. And I get asked that at least once a week when people come in the store. They're like, what does BVA stand for? Is that your initials? And I'm like, no. But most people use BED as an abbreviation for Bedford.
Right.
And I was like, if we are called Bed Mercantile, people are going to come in for mattresses.
Right.
Like, every week, So we decided on BVA Mercantile. So we opened actually April 27th, 2019. So we're next week will be 3 years that we've been in business. And so my husband makes reclaimed barnwood tables. That's what he kind of switched from when we did our vendor events. He kind of switched from the smaller things to larger barnwood tables. He even made our bed. It's like made out of reclaimed barnwood. It's amazing. And so then we had just very few home decor pieces when we first opened. We had a few more antiques and more just furniture pieces. And then as the years have grown, we've just really expanded our lines as far as home decor. So we have barnwood furniture, we have some antique pieces, and then we have new home decor. We have some gift items too. So it's when looking back at pictures when we first opened and then to see where we are now, we've really grown and it's just something that we're really proud of. So we faced obviously some challenges, the first year, the very first 2 weeks, actually, we had some issues. We had to actually close for about 3 weeks. We had some plumbing nightmares.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh my gosh, I just walked in and I cried. I was like, all this work that we put in this building and we had to rip up drywall. It was a nightmare. We had to get rid of inventory. But anyway, So we were able to reopen, and then 2020 came and COVID, and obviously, and everyone faced challenges with that. But then we switched to doing live sales on Facebook, which really helped us be able to stay in business that year because people were so supportive of that and shopped online and just did curbside pickup. And now we're here almost 3 years later, and I just feel so blessed to still be in business. So I'm just super excited. I also want to tell people, a lot of people don't know in Bedford that we exist because we are not on Bridge Street. So I did want to tell people our address too. We're at 206 West Depot Street.
Yes.
So it's right off of Bridge Street. And we have a huge parking lot right across from our building. So it's, plenty of parking, and we're right there on West Depot Street. So,
and I think that is another thing that I stress with in Bedford is Depot Street is growing now in both directions, because a lot of people just drive right. They think it's just Main and Bridge and that's it. Park and wander around because there are small stores throughout, and BVA is one of them. And, now with the opening of the Electrico market and, like I just mentioned, Goose Creek, there is a very heavy arts presence. And, I think what BVA has is so different in our area, because it is a great mixture of, and I hadn't even really thought about the difference between when you opened to now, because I just feel like it's just kind of evolved so kind of like slowly, but like it's like little things coming in. But yeah, so, you have antique stores, but that's not what BVA is.
Right.
And a lot of the stuff, like you said, your husband does some amazing furniture. There's a couple pieces I've seen that I'm like, oh my gosh, I would love to have in my home. But yeah, the way that Bedford is grown or is growing is very encouraging. So I come out and spend a day in Bedford, in downtown, not a Monday. Because a lot of places are closed on Monday. So I'll save you the trouble. Don't come out too much on a Monday. But anyway, there are some wonderful shops, and, seeing businesses, especially like you were saying through COVID, and watching how y'all adapted to that, doing the live videos, having more online presence, which a lot of small businesses had to do, was really important, but a great reason as to how they stayed afloat through COVID. So I definitely encourage people to come and check out. Like, I'm glad you mentioned you were on Depot, because I know that's all. We've talked about the issue of being able to find you in the past, and I think when we have Centerfest this year, now that we're gonna be working on putting more booths down both things this year, because that will bring more people out. And I think now that there's actually growth on the streets, there's a reason for it.
Absolutely.
So it's going to be really great. But now you also have, do y'all still have items in downtown Lynchburg?
We do. We have items. We've been there for a little over 2 years now. We were at Bailey Spencer Hardware. It's right across from the community market in downtown Lynchburg. So he has allowed us to have just a small little space in there, but it's been awesome because we put our address and we put our information down there, and we get people in Lynchburg that have never heard about us to come to Bedford. And then we can say, go check out this restaurant, go check out this cool store, go check out this, So it just that's what our entire goal. And like the awards that we won, we were so grateful to win, the Retail Business of the Year. And then we won some awards in Lynchburg Living as well. And we always say, like, those awards and that publicity just helps get more people to Bedford.
Right.
And we are such big proponents of small business and small towns. And because people, they don't necessarily want to come, 20 minutes for 2 stores or 1 restaurant, So if we can grow Bedford, like, by all these small businesses, that's why we're here.
Yeah.
And that's one of our main, it's not just about us. And obviously we want to succeed, obviously, but we also just want all the other businesses around to succeed and support each other. That's why we love being a part of CVABC and all you guys, support for small business. But yes, so we've been, I went off track there, but yes, we're in Bailey Spencer Hardware, and we have a little booth there. And have just kind of a few pieces of ours, so people can just kind of get a sneak peek of what they can purchase the items there, but then also come to Bedford and check us out here too.
And I think, even though you said you went off on a different direction.
Yeah, sorry.
I think the direction you went is great, because small businesses, and I say this all the time, and I know it's big, people, the Central Virginia Business Coalition, that is what we do. That is our goal. That is our mission, is to keep people supporting locally. Whether it's, through, I was just talking the other day I was telling you I do softball, and I was talking to Parks and Rec, and I was like, team pictures. Who do y'all go through? Because I know some people go through like just those photography companies or whatever. And I told him, I was like, do I have the opportunity to use somebody else? And they were like, sure. So, I have a local, photographer that she was like, I would really love to come and do these. And I said, why not? Let's try it out. And so I'm breaking away from everyone else. I'm the odd person out, but I wanted to give that opportunity to somebody locally. And, I think that's really important. And I think a lot of people see, oh, yes, Lynchburg is big, Roanoke is big, Forest is growing. But I don't think people really realize the growth that's happening right here in Bedford.
Absolutely.
It's smaller, but it is happening. I know there's a new music store that is opening up, Noteworthy Music. And we have the plant that Sign Rock, the Living Planet Sign Rock. And I don't know if you've been in there, but that place is really cool. You can go in and make little terrariums and things like that. So there's a lot of stuff in just your small local, and you have no idea how much it means to someone to support them because you're supporting a family. You're not supporting like
absolutely
large like CEOs that are sitting there twiddling their thumbs. I'm not saying all CEOs are doing it. I'm sure they're not, but I just think it's important to support local. Now, speaking of, so your husband makes a lot of the furniture, but you also have recently started having other vendors inside of your store too.
Yes. So when we first opened, actually, we met Renee. She owns Wire Wrapping and Beading. We met her at a vendor event when we used to do vendor events. So when we opened, I gave her the opportunity to bring her jewelry in to sell. So she's been in there almost since we opened about 3 years ago. And then most recently around Christmas time, we brought in Cheyenne, who you had a few weeks ago on your podcast with Finding Joy Boutique. She's brought in some shirts and they're doing amazing. She's so excited. And I'm so excited for her every time I get to tell her how many we've sold. Like, it's awesome. I love that. So we have them. And also at our our anniversary celebration, Sarah Mayhew has recently started doing some home decor, making some pillows and table runners and things. So she's going to be doing a pop-up shop outside of our store on that day, on May the 7th. So she'll be outside with her items there. So it's, we don't have a big space down there, but it's still important for me to support other small business owners that don't necessarily can't do a retail business, that we can put a small little area they can have sample some of their things too. So that's really important for us too, to support other small business owners.
I'm really happy. So Cheyenne is going to be, she's creating Empower shirts for my Empower event for the women to purchase. And so that's kind of the same thing. I want to be able to support others that, have a small business and especially I say small business, but we support those that don't even have brick and mortar. So, if it's entrepreneur, solopreneur, your artisans and crafters, and I agree with you on the whole festival thing. I sit here and I put festivals on and I watch people lugging. That's to me, even having a yard sale is hard work.
Oh, absolutely.
So I'm sitting here thinking, to me, it's like, if I do not want to keep, taking that stuff back and forth to my vehicle. So I know, but it also is great to see because we have a business, Blakely Bath and Company. She actually, she was 2 years ago, was in our Christmas at the Ridge store that we did. But she's done so well that she's opening her very first brick and mortar. We're doing her ribbon cutting on April 30th in Graves Mill Shopping Center. So that's what I love to see is businesses that started out like you did with festivals and and then you realize, hey, I can actually make this into something people can come to all the time. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
So tell us about your May 7th event.
So we're going to be doing big deals all weekend long. But our main event will be on that Saturday. So Saturday, May the 7th from 10 to 3. Again, I'll shout out our address, 206 West Depot Street, downtown Bedford.
Yes.
So we'll be doing giveaways. We're going to be doing several giveaways. I know my friend Renee is going to be giving away some custom jewelry. We're going to be having some big giveaways and, like I said, big discounts on things that we don't normally discount our furniture too much, but we'll be doing that. And like I said, Sarah's pop-up shop will be outside. We'll be having cupcakes, things like that to celebrate because we're just super excited to still be here. And we want to celebrate with our customers too. And again, I just want to, mention really quick, like one of my favorite parts of having a small business is the relationships that we've been able to build and the people that we've been able to meet, like with Cheyenne. She's like hearing her story. And just all the people that come in the store, like they don't even know how much they just bless me, every day from getting to meet new people that, I've been in Virginia almost 13 years. And it was hard, just being a stay-at-home mom and meeting people. We have 5 children, so I was a little busy. But being able to just people come in the store and meeting them, I love the people of Bedford. Just that's one of my favorite parts, and just the connections that we can make in our store.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to give back. So by offering giveaways and discounts and things like that. So I hope people will come out and celebrate with us. So.
I remember back before Christmas, we came in and my daughter saw that little pig. Remember, you had like a little pig ornament, and her best friend loves pigs. And I bet you she bothered me for 2 weeks to go back and get that little pig. But it meant so much to her because she found it there, and I think there was one left when I came in. I was like, oh, I better go ahead and get it now, or it's going to be all gone. But I think that's something you can find things like that are not really one of a kind, but kind of in smaller stores like that. And they mean a lot because you're shopping locally, and you're giving them something that you actually went out and, you didn't order en masse from Amazon
And that's important for us too. Like I take a lot of time to find items for our store because I want people to come in and be like, this is not something that we can just go to anywhere and find. So that's super important to me. And then whenever my husband, when he's looking some antique pieces, because we do the Mountain View Vintage Market every year as well. So we try to find really unique, really cool things that people come in and are like, oh, wow, that's awesome. So that's very important to us. And like you said, we try to be different. So people come in Bedford and say, I can go here for this. I can go here for this. I can go here for, So we all offer something different. So that's what we try really hard to do.
The great thing about your event happening on the 7th is it's right before Mother's Day.
Right.
Hello.
Right.
Kids and husbands that want to purchase something for their mother. I would go check out. You can, not only would you be supporting local, going to get a discount because they're having sales. So, I mean, that's, good on the budget. And if you'd like, you can, take your wife there ahead of time and she can point out all the things she wants and you can get them. So, I could tell my husband to go get me some little gnomes. Right. You've got some cute little gnomes down there. I love those. But yeah, so it's definitely encourage everyone to go out there on May 7th. Or if you can't go May 7th, what other days are you open during the week? Like, what are your times?
Right now, we are there Friday from 12 to 5 and Saturday 10 to 3. As the year progresses, we are open more, especially in the holiday seasons. We're open a lot more. We've just found right now with our children's schedule and, how busy it is in Bedford, those are the best days for us right now in this season. But like I said, as the year goes on, we expand our hours. But we update them all the time on Google and Facebook. So you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at BVA Mercantile. And we also have a website, bvamercantile.com. So
perfect. And then one last time for the person in the back that may not have heard, what is the address again?
It is 206 West Depot Street in downtown Bedford.
Perfect. So I am excited. I am planning on coming on the 7th. And I have been privileged to be a part of your, ribbon cuttings and grand openings and all of that in the past. And so I'm really happy to have you come on here and talk about it and be able to promote BVA because I love your store. I think it's wonderful. So if you're listening today, put it on your calendar, May 7th. Go out and purchase something for yourself, for your loved one, for somebody you don't know. I don't care. Just get out there and shop locally. Purchase something for me. you can call me, come down here next Wednesday not next Wednesday because that's not happening yet. But anyway, but yeah, definitely support local. But thank you for coming on.
No, thank you so much for the opportunity. I was so excited to come and talk. So thank you.
And like I said, I love what you guys do. And you can tell Steve, he's, he can come make me some furniture.
Okay.
I need to get with him.
Okay.
I am trying to get a little small table, so we'll talk about that later. Okay. Anyway, so I can sit here and talk about like shopping all day long. Yeah. Because it's definitely something I love to do, and I love going to smaller towns and seeing different businesses, like bookstores and just cafes and things like that. My daughter had a gymnastics tournament a week or so ago in Manassas, and so she's like, let's go to Tyson's Corner. And like, you go to all these big stores and it's just like it's the same old stuff. Now I will say I don't know if you've ever been to Tyson's Corner, but I will say there was the coolest sushi bar thing in the middle. Have you ever seen it? It has a conveyor belt of sushi. It just goes past you and you just pick it off the line. And anyway, that was pretty cool. If we could get one of those in downtown Bedford, that would be awesome. But you go to these large stores and it's the same old stuff and it's expensive. And I always find that, when you just kind of go off the
Hmm.
malls or you just kind of the smaller stores, like I love going to Stanton and
Hmm.
Lexington and different places like that and just kind of, just wandering.
Hmm.
Sometimes you don't know what you'll find. So somebody come wander in Bedford,
That's right.
wander in Bedford,
That's right.
Virginia to 206 West Depot Street.
That's right.
BVA Mercantile. Anyway, so I'd also like to welcome Michelle to the show today, and I think Michelle is going to be speaking at Empower, but she also brings leadership and coaching skills to businesses, and I wanted to kind of talk with you a little bit about that because I know we're coming out of the whole, or hopefully we're coming out of the whole COVID thing, and businesses are starting to kind of pick back up. You can go into stores, you can, sit down and eat at local restaurants. And I will just say, I'm super thrilled. Kings Island is back open for indoor seating. For those of you who don't know, I'm a huge Kings Island fan, love their Chinese food. And as soon as they bring back the buffet, I'll be even more excited. But I'm going to go off on a tangent. But so you can, but I think that a lot of businesses find that they do still need help. They need leadership. They need coaching. They're trying to juggle so many balls in the air. So tell us a little bit about what you do and how you kind of help with that.
Yeah, sure. So, first of all, thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here and talking about this because it is a real need, that's for sure. And I wanted to say something to Christy though while she's here because she made comments. I'm so thankful we're still open 3 years later, and I'm so thankful that we made it through the pandemic, et cetera. But what really struck me is I know why you've made it. And the reason why is because of that spirit of abundance and that spirit of service that you have that's just like from inside of you. That is so impressive. And that's what leadership is. And so I just love that. That struck me as you were talking. It's not about, how much money can I make and how successful can I be?
Mhm.
It's about how can we all together lift each other up. And I
Absolutely.
love that.
Absolutely.
It was
Thank you.
beautiful. So that's what it's about. It's about being in service to other people, helping other people be their best. That's really the core of what I do. And so I spent about 3 decades in leadership, and you rise through the ranks in organizations, and it was a highly complex and heavily regulated and really a difficult environment that I love because I love a challenge. Um, but as I rose through the ranks, very long story short, I loved leadership. I loved leading people. I loved impacting people. And I had opportunities to do that every step of my career journey. However, when I got really high up in the organization to the executive level, and there were some significant challenges going on at the time, I moved away. I moved away from really what I loved the most, and that's investing in people and being of service to people, making sure that I'm kind of invisible as the leader and they are excelling and soaring and having all these aha moments, and their future is extremely bright. And I was spending about instead of 95% of my time on that, I was spending like 5% of my time on that. And everything else was just, and it's no one's fault. It's just the way the business was and the industry was. So, after a long battle of really thinking through it and having work really feel like work for a while, which is not what I'm used to, I decided to take the leap, and I was kind of part of the Great Resignation, and I left the executive world, and my organization is fantastic, and they really honored the career there, and I'm so thankful to them. But I left the career world and opened up my own business to do just that, just what I want to do, investing in people and helping them level up and hone their skills and be the best that they can be.
And so I think that is so important. And it's one reason I'm really glad to have you come in to speak at Empower, because that's a lot about what that is too. But I think that's another thing when I talk about the CVABC and what sets us apart from other organizations in our area is the fact that myself, and I know even now my staff, because I'm kind of like you for a while, it was I was there and it was me and I was doing all this stuff, but now I actually have staff, and I want to see them succeed. I want to see, like, my membership director, like, someone calls me about membership, and a lot of times they come to me because they know me, and so I'm really trying to push them more to her to say, it's not me, like, this organization is not Heather Alto run CVABC. it is a group, and it's made up of our members too. And I feel like we do a great job with the relationship piece of it. It's not about how many members can we have? How many did we get this month? How much are they paying us? One thing during COVID that I was extremely proud of was we didn't raise our rates. We could have been like, oh gosh, we need more money. But instead we cut them. We went down to $75 because we would rather see our members succeed. And we knew that at that time we still had the funds to still be able to do that. We had fantastic sponsors, but it was more about seeing businesses like Christie's stay afloat. And, the other part of it, the other piece to it is that I'm not, I feel like I don't just talk to people as a business, like they're friends. Like I love what I do, but the thing that I love the most are the relationships that I build with people. Like I know Christy, I know her family, I know, her kids. I know her son played soccer with my son at some point back in the day when we first met. I was like, oh, hey, they played soccer together for a little while. But I think that's the most important thing for businesses. And so let me ask you, do you find that a lot of businesses get into business for the wrong reasons? And that's one of the reasons that they do falter?
Yeah, I think motive is the heart of everything. It really is. It's what is your intent? And if your intent is to get rich, you're going to run your business in a very different way. If your intent is to serve people or to better people, even if it's through making reclaimed wood furniture, if your intent is to better your community and to invest in lives of people, and I love what Christy also said about relationships.
Mhm.
If that's your intent, everything flows from that. And so your vision, your strategy, your product, your everything you do, it's already at such a high level of integrity that I think that goes a long way in success. And people see it. They may not be able to put their finger on it, but they know it when they see it or when they
Mhm.
feel it. And that authenticity, which is really the basis of a lot of the coaching and the facilitation and speaking that I do, that authenticity, and it just flows from you naturally. And if your intent is pure and you're authentic to yourself, success is almost inevitable.
That's exactly what I was getting ready to say, because I know that you build a lot of yours on authenticity,
Mhm.
and I think that's something that you can tell when somebody is not in it for the right reasons. You can tell when somebody's just trying to, for lack of better words, just kind of toss you a bunch of,
Right.
can I say crap on the radio? But I'm gonna say it, crap.
You can say whatever you want
It's
to.
not just have the beeper ready. No, but you can tell when somebody's just trying to tell you what you want to hear.
Yeah.
And that's, and then you can tell when somebody is genuinely there for the betterment of you as a person, as a business owner. And I think that, that's important when you're, growing a business.
Yeah, completely. And like I said, relationships matter. So if you're not genuine, and they see that, it's never going to work. It will work in some big Wall Street companies maybe,
Mhm.
and where you're it seems like greed and some of those things really take over. And it's not even all about that. It's not that your intent has to be negative if you want to make money. We all want to make money. We're all in business for the same reason, and that can't be your primary motivator. So yeah, it's a big deal, and being authentic to who you are. So if somebody else out there is in your industry and they're doing it different, that's okay. They
Yep.
may be very successful because that's authentic to who they are and their core values and purpose and mission. So you really have to know that. And you have to get clear on that and then function from that place. And it becomes like, I always use the analogy, it changes you from trying to trudge through waist deep wet cement to gliding along on a well-oiled pathway. I mean, it just changes everything. It makes success much more attainable, and it feels better. It just feels better to be
Yeah.
there.
It probably makes you sleep better at night, knowing that
Absolutely.
you actually did it for the right reasons versus just, bringing, because I'm telling you, eventually, if you're just in it for the money, they're going to figure it out. Like it's something is going to happen. Like you're going to fall at some point, because you don't have that foundation underneath that's keeping you thriving and moving. And I think, um, that's important. I think a lot of people actually saw that in the past couple of years.
Agreed.
And I have, I get a lot of people that ask me, because we're a membership organization and we have members that do some of the same things, multiple members that may do the same things. And I get people that go, well, how do you know who to refer? How do you handle something like that? And I tell a lot of people that it's, you can come and join the Central Virginia Business Coalition. And am I going to accept your membership? Absolutely, because that's, yeah, you're joining. That's great. But it's about who you are and how much are you going to put into it yourself to make yourself successful too. It's one thing to just throw money at me, but that doesn't always work. But when I can get to know you, when I can, feel who you are as a person, I'm going to know when I talk to somebody who's going to be a good fit for that person, because it's about relationships. You don't just go for the first person that, threw me, $125. No. And a lot of times I do give people multiple members. I'll say, hey, here, these 3 people do this job. I highly recommend you call each one of them and see who's going to be the better fit for you, because everybody's different too.
Yeah, I love that too. And that's actually how I run the business. So, and if you go to my website, it's www.michellecabell.com. If you go there and look, there's actually an application process for us to work together. And that's intentional. It's not because please apply, you'll be lucky to work with me. That's not the intent at all. It's about that fit. I mean, I have to be the right person for that individual, and that individual has to be the right person for me as well. They have to be highly motivated and willing and open and have this curious learner mindset, and they want to have, I want them to have goals and where they're headed. So we have to be that right fit. And there are a lot of coaches and consultants out there.
Right.
The reality is there's enough business for all of us. And if I grab a client just because I want to grab a client, my success is going to be much less, and their value that they receive it's not going to materialize. So it has to be that right fit. It has to be, and there's so many of us. And our community, I've met a lot of coaches and consultants in the area. Our community they have that spirit of abundance mentality. There's enough for all of us. We all have our little niche. We all have our skill set. We all have our connections, and there is plenty, because this is a topic that is front and center. There is a great resignation. People can't get and retain staff. I mean, there's just so much out there. Women in particular, there's so much challenge for women on top of everything else. So there's so many topics. We could talk for days about it, that if you just have a partner in that and someone who can help walk you through that with powerful processes and proven assessments and things like that, it catapults you. It's a catalyst for success. It really helps people move forward in ways that you wouldn't have been able to do at the same pace or even to the same level on your own.
I love that you said that there is enough out there for everyone, because I find that one of the worst things that I see in business are those who are unwilling to work together, or to collaborate, or to even promote a competitor, and you know what I'm saying, in different ways. Because you're right, there is something, and I would hate, I have these people that they want it all, and then they can't fulfill all it all. So why, instead of, and then they get bad reviews, they get bad recommendations, because why, why be so what's it? They're not secure. Right. And I think in their own business that they worry too much about the others in there. And, you can do so much more together than you can apart. And I say that all the time, and I feel like, it goes on deaf ears sometimes, but to hear you say it, I'm sitting here like, yes, that is so right.
Well, you're dealing with people. We're not talking about selling cows. We're talking about you're dealing with people. And so it's got to be, you have to know when it's yours and when it's not, and you have to know who to refer to. I love that, because I know a lot of people now in this business, and there are so many people that would be better suited or a match. And it's an investment of their time. It's an investment of their money. And if we don't give them, or this is how I feel, if I don't give them a 5 to 10 times return on that investment of time and money, I haven't done my job. And so that's very important to me. And I take that very seriously, because they're trusting me with that. And if I'm not the one, there's somebody else out there that is. They still need somebody, and it just may not be me. And I could shout out a million coaches that are out there that would be great. And we refer to one another. We partner, we collaborate sometimes. So yeah, it's worth it.
So for someone that's out there listening, and they're kind of like, well, maybe I do need to have a coach. Maybe I need to come out and talk with someone. What are some reasons you recommend people to look into a business coach or, someone that can come in and help them kind of as the train's coming through
here
again.
comes the
Today,
train.
apparently the train
It was so
said,
popular today.
yes.
It hadn't come by all morning.
Here
Yeah,
it comes.
here it is. But I think that's another thing people struggle with is, do I even need it?
Right.
And so what are some things that kind of people should look at and say, oh, you know what? Yeah, I do need help with this.
Sure. So there are different kinds of coaches. And so you want to make sure that you want to understand what is your pain point? What is the challenge for you that is significant enough that you want to invest time and money in that, and that the payoff for that is going to be really good for you. For some people, it may be, I don't know my next career path. I don't know where I want to go. For some, it could be, I feel um, stuck. I feel unorganized in my life. Or as a woman, I love women. I love working with women. But as a woman, I feel that I'm not optimizing my potential at home, or I can't meet all the needs. Or so you have career coaches, you have life coaches. Mine is a particular one on executive and leadership coaching. So you want to make sure you find the right one. Oftentimes, you can just start with one branch and they can refer you out because we do have a strong network here. But yeah, so from mine, it would be more people who are highly motivated, highly driven, and understand that leadership is a constant learning journey,
Mm-hmm.
and that you are heavily responsible and heavily privileged to work with people and to impact their success and the people that they touch, their success. I mean, it's like that whole ripple effect thing. So if you're really looking to either level up, or if you want to make sure you're always at the top of your game, if you are struggling with imposter syndrome or negotiation skills or influence or executive presence, or just anything that you would want to partner with somebody, because things change over time, that's the work that I do. And it just helps those leaders understand the privilege and responsibility of their role,
Mm-hmm.
and be the best they can be, full of integrity and learning constantly and failing well, because we all fail, and learning how to do that. So that's really my focus. But then I also know a lot of people who do career coaching, business coaching, life coaching, uh, physical fitness coaching, wellness and health. There's just a lot of that out there. So it's anyone who just wants to level up and they have not been successful doing that on their own. It's a powerful partnership that walks you through processes to help you get there.
See, and I love that you can sit here and say, like, this is my niche, but all these other people do all these other things. Like,
Mhm.
I'm not out there doing physical fitness. Nope. More power to those coaches. But, I think, like, even for me, being the director of an organization, I think one of the things that I have found is I'm not a micromanager.
Mhm.
So I tend to keep a lot of things, like I tend to like try and do it all and not rely on my team as much because I'm worried that it's not going to get done. So I think that's something like I can sit here and tell you, like I have that and I'm trying to own it and I'm trying to push it off more. Like, when somebody calls me about membership, I don't call them back immediately anymore. I give it to Andrea and I have to trust that she's going to make that phone call and that it's going to happen and, do those sorts of things. And, when it comes to events, I'm trying to make sure like I'm not, calling to make sure the banners are being done, like, because that's the event person's job. But then there's me, but I'm back here going, okay, I hope it's been done. Like, and I'm making myself so nervous. But in a way, you're right, though. You kind of have to let them fail too sometimes so that they can see how important it is to get done what they have to do. But I don't want to do it at the detriment of like the organization. So it's kind of like, yeah, I think that's, definitely something I can relate to
Yeah.
on my side. So, I think if you're out there listening and you're struggling with that sort of thing, or I'll go back to women and confidence. Back when I took over this role, it was more of a male role. You heard them; they were more in the driver's seat with like membership sales or chambers of commerce and things like that. And so you feel like when you go to talk to a company and the owner is male, they tend to not
That's correct.
listen to you as much. And I used to have that feeling a lot, and it would deflate me sometimes. And I had to just, tell myself, you know what? No, you're definitely worth it. You have a good product. What you do is good. It has nothing to do with the fact that you're a woman, although it might have been. But, you have to just go back in there and be like, you know what? I can do this, and I am good at what I do. And that's one of the reasons I started Empower. And we started that 4 years ago. And I did that specifically because I felt like women needed a event or just somewhere that we could come and air out, like, and listen to how we could grow and how important we were, and we needed to see that self-worth, and that's kind of where Empower came from. And then the Athena Award, which we give out at the Empower event, embodies all of that, and it's given to women in our area that showcase great leadership, and they showcase great mentorship and community service. And so I have been, of all the events that I do, and I do some big ones, Christmas parades and Centerfest, Empower is actually the one I am most proud of. And it's probably my favorite event all year, because I'm in a room full of women that are solely there to better themselves. They're not there because they're going to be throwing pie at each other halfway through the event because they don't like each other or things like that. Like, they're there to learn and grow. And I'm really happy to have you as a speaker this year.
I'm excited.
And so I know we've been kind of back and forth. Have you decided, like, what is your topic going to be on? If you want to kind of give us a little insight.
So I don't want to give away the everything to it, but it really is talking about how it's very similar to what you just said. As women, we tend to have a lot of negative self-talk. We contribute to what is really a societal norm out there that men are smarter, stronger, they can make more money, they have a higher ability to have a seat at the table. And sometimes as women, we limit ourselves there as well. So I was talking it over with one of the other speakers, and we were really talking about the topics and everything. And where I have landed is on focusing on the innate qualities and values and skills of being a woman, and how you translate those and you really capitalize and tap into those to be really phenomenal at whatever it is you choose to do, whether it's entrepreneurial or a leader or a stay-at-home mom and leading in your household, because we're all leaders in that way. It's really tapping into the things about women that make us women and leveraging that, rather than having that limiting self-talk. So, like, one example is women historically, and not everyone's going to fit into this, but we're storytellers. We're great storytellers. That is such an asset in communication as you're working with people to rally them around a vision, et cetera. But we don't really put the two things together. So it's going to be talking about the innate characteristics of being women, and how do we leverage that. So I'm excited about it.
I am too. So. I am excited. I don't know that every year I'm excited, because I have different speakers that come in and speak each year. And you're right, because we have some phenomenal women in our area that do speak. I even already have some people that are already asking me about next year. Like, can I speak for next year? And I'm like, yes, that's great. But, everyone brings such wonderful topics, and you learn so much. And I see people at the end, like, they're posting on social media just how refreshed they felt and how these trains need to stop coming through while I'm trying to have a moment. But no, but I think that's this year. I know my 4 breakout speakers not only bring they bring a lot to the table. They bring a lot of diversity to the table this year, which is great.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be a great day. And again, I encourage you, if you're listening and you don't have your tickets, to get your tickets to this event. It's going to be wonderful. Now, before we go, Michelle, tell everyone, how can they get a hold of you if they're interested in having you? And I'd love to have you back on the show again to talk more in depth about leadership and coaching. And I think there's so much more we haven't even tapped into. But how can they get a hold of you if they're interested in learning more?
Yeah, so I'm on LinkedIn. You can search for me on LinkedIn, either under my name, Michelle Cabell, or under Optimized Leadership Coaching and Consulting. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Instagram. And I have my website. I'm not on Facebook right now, but I'm working on that. So my website, again, is www.michellecabell, that's all one word, .com.
Is Cabell with 1 L or 2?
It's 2. So it's Michelle, Michellebell.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify, because I used to have the last name Hamlet before I got married. So everyone's like, is that 1 T or 2 T's? So, I'm just clarify that for anyone listening. But thank both of you so much for coming on the show with me today. Thank you. For those of you listening, thank you so much. We'll be back next Wednesday. We're going to be talking with Prestige Kennel and talking to them about all that they do for your pet care and services in our area. And until then, have a great weekend.